I want to thank Matt and Jean for giving me this opportunity again. This is, I think, the 5th time I've read chapters from the book. A lot of you are new. This is a military adventure that takes place in 1976. I've abridged it immensely to stay within a reasonable amount of time here tonight, so there might be a little bit of choppiness going on here, but I think you'll get the picture. The title of the book is The Footless Girls of Camp C, and tonight you're going to meet the first footless girl.
And what was what led up to the book? Because you started out, for those who weren't here, you started.
If you weren't here, I tried to join the Marines in 1972 and I got hurt and they wouldn't take me. But I put my head down and continued to work out and be really fit and strong and a good fighter and good with guns. And somehow I got recruited by a private military contractor and we ended up in some country I don't even know. As part of the war on drugs, blowing up cocaine camps. And we had a little surprise at one point, and I'm going to talk about that tonight. I hear a few soft cries. No, no, no. Sounds like a woman or a kid. I hear a male reply, Silencio! Shit, I'm busted. Urgency catapults into my mind. My best move is to crawl into the pit under my camo blanket. Shooting is my absolute last resort, but I better be ready for anything. I feel for the cyanide wrapper. Got it. The footsteps are closer. I hear 2 sets. One set is heavy. The feet are shuffling through the ground debris more than walking. The other one is light, barely audible. There is a lack of rhythm to the steps, as if the person is awkward, maybe drunk. I'm not sure. I'm peeking from under the blanket at full alert. I need to piss again, so I let it go right in my pants. Someone comes around the corner of the tombstone rock. The person is short, like 4 feet tall, in white underwear. Well, maybe a t-shirt, a small head. Behind this person is a large man, also in white. Oh, what? Underwear again? Wait a sec. That's ugly. The guard I saw inside the shack. The smaller person is whimpering low as if not wanting to wake anyone. Ugly keeps repeating, Silencio, silencio, punta. A sharp smack of skin on skin. The whimpering stops. Ugly raises his hands to force the smaller person face first to lean against the rock. I hear a slight crying. No, no, no effing, no. I see Ugly pull the white t-shirt over the head of the small person. That person is now naked. Ugly raises his right hand. He has a glass bottle which reflects a bit of light. He takes a swig. I realize instantly that short person is a little girl and that ugly fucker's about to rape her. My adrenaline boils as I see that he is sliding his boxer shorts to his ankles on top of cloth sandals. He grabs his dick, yanking it to get hard. My only thought is, no way, I'm not going to let this happen. His back is to me. Now he has his left hand on the bottle and his right hand on his dick. He is humming a song. The girl is whimpering. He leans over her. I see that he is kissing her back near her right shoulder. She cries out, what the fuck, he's biting her. He drops the now empty bottle from his left hand and then wraps that hand around her head, covering her mouth. That's it. That fucker's gonna die. And now, for a microsecond, I think, I'm gonna fuck the mission. I'm gonna make too much noise. He's gonna alert the camp. I might get caught. In the next second, I realize the 4th shack, the locked door, no windows, small bodies on the floor, no comforts. Shit, that shack's filled with kids, maybe all girls. Don't matter now, I'm in savage mode. I crawl from the blanket, 2 K-bars tightly gripped. Ugly is still trying to get his dick hard. The girl is whimpering as he is bent over, his ass facing me and pointing up, biting her back again. With his left hand tight around her gurgling mouth, she is fighting back. There is nothing she can do to stop this. Smoothly, I approach Ugly from the rear. I make the 10 feet slow and steady, using the jungle for camouflage in case he turns around. His ass is exposed. His drawers are at his feet. I stand tall. He is shorter than me, maybe 5'6". I'm gonna kill him, maybe spatchcock him. He won't need his spine ever again. I'm at his back. I take my right hand K-bar and bring the knife near his head on his right side, blade down. I take the K-bar in my left hand and stick it in a slot in my vest. I use my left hand to reach around his left side. That hand is an inch from his bloated gut. I raise it hard, pulling into his face, leaning backward. My hand covers his mouth with a death grip. My fingers drill into his face flesh, squeezing his lips together. I yank his head back. Like lightning, I take the right-handed K-bar, making the slice. This bitch is gonna suffer. I could cut through his windpipe, exsanguinate him, as Sarge calls it, his carotid arteries, and down to the inside of his neck bones, cutting through his thyroid. But I don't. I slice his windpipe only, so he cannot make any noise. Well, other than gurgling the blood that is spewing from his neck and mouth. I hear a whisper, whispered not from his mouth, but from his open throat. I drag him backward, blood gushing onto my forearm and hand. I drag him over the roots and through the few bushes toward the camo blanket. As we get there, I twist him around, throwing him to the ground, with me landing on his feet, facing his neck. I have the K-bar in my left hand, twisted to the side. In an instant, I make a powerful thrust with the left-handed knife into his anus, hitting home. Probably the coccyx. It's handle deep. Next, I pull it out, twisting it as I do. He sounds like a mute kitten. I guess this is as close as I'll ever get to crooking a deer. I joke to myself for a bloody moment. I dance away on my knees from the mixed blood and liquid shit gushing from his ass. That smell is immediate. I roll him over. We are now face to face. I look quickly over my shoulder. The little girl is still leaning against the rock, this time on her back. Her eyes are closed and her face is tortured. She is petrified, with little clenched fists banging the air in front of her. I look back at Ugly. My rage is insurmountable. I know I should finish him off and get out of here, but I can't control myself. Como te gusta? He gurgles through the slit in his throat, unable to scream. Yeah, I didn't think you'd like that. But he understands this. He's gonna die. I see that the girl is now standing nearby. Her mouth is open. She is in shock, standing stiffly, her tiny fist still clenched, protecting her face. A look of vile hatred fires from her eyes. She hates this guy, I can tell. She's not crying. She moves her hands into a folded prayer-like position while nodding toward me. My senses return. A few stabs to his heart and lungs, crushing through his ribs. The final slice through the rest of his neck. He's dead, fucker. My breathing is at a peak. My pulse is pounding my heart into my ribs. My skull is numb. What little hair I have is standing on end. My hands are shaking as I scan for movement. I don't know what to do next. My emotions have taken over. I'm a pure killing, hating machine. I realize I have probably made too much noise. I gotta skedaddle, but first, keep the mission intact. I stand, barely able to keep my balance. I grab Ugly by the feet. No sandals or underpants. He must have fallen out of them. I drag him to the blanket. I rip it off the cradled depression. Sure enough, his body fits in like a ready-made grave. I cover him with the blanket and then sprinkle some other loose brushes on top of it. The girl has not moved much. I go to her, dropping on my right knee. I know that my face and glasses are covered with mud, blood, and sweat. The girl reaches out, continuing to whimper, refusing to cry. I can see the look of the saved, the relief, and the happy that she is still alive. She is confused. Her eyebrows are wrinkled from stress, and her eyes are wide open. Her slatternly appearance is bumming me heavily. Snot is clogging both of her nostrils. Amazingly, her hands are not shaking, while mine, if I had a glass of milk in them, I would soon have a milkshake. She reaches with a tiny hand to take mine. My hand is 3 times the size of hers, engulfing it. I squat, take her in my arms, cradling her tight to my chest so that she wheezes. I ease away, Esconde, I whisper. I am not sure that is the word I mean. Let's get out of here, but it is all that I can think of. If she weighs 20 pounds, I'd be surprised. I see the origins of the worst smell. Her right foot is missing where her ankle was. There are red and white pus pockets dripping from that skin flap. After moving at a quick shuffle for 50 yards, dodging bushes and trees, my arms are tired from holding the girl. I am in great shape, though this is dogging me. My breathing is deep. I stop, grab a breath, and place her on her left foot. Turning around and squatting, I gesture for her to climb onto my back. The adrenaline rush has half subsided. I feel the pull of the tiny girl clamped on my neck, crushing her against my back and my sweat-wet shirt and vest. She hangs on with both arms tight around my neck, making breathing harder. Her legs are wrapped around my lower back, resting on my hips. The stump of her right leg is visible, kicking upwards with each of my steps. I recognize my earlier creek crossing, the lightning-struck stump, where the creek bends. We get to the other side. Before we get out, I turn my back to the bank as I tell the girl to saddle, get off, which she does. A brush moves. I focus. Nothing. My neck hairs are standing. I am cold. That ain't natural. I dip my full body under the water, kneeling on the soft muck, then exhale, blowing a lung full of bubbles. I get a solid right-handed grip on a Colt under my vest. The other is in my waistband. I feel for the K-bar with my left hand. When I come up, the girl is staring at me 3 feet away. I whisper to her, Vanilla agua. I put my left index finger to my mouth, then say, shh. She cracks a bleak smile as she slides down the short embankment. This pitiful girl is naked and afraid. Man, this kid's only about 10 years or so old. She's as skinny as a bean, not mature, no hair except on her head, which I can see now has been cut irregularly, like with a knife or some errant scissors. She is caked in mud, blood, and probably shit. I take off my vest, place it quietly on a bank, taking off my shirt. I rinse the shirt in the water, twisting it to dry as best as I can. I am furtively looking around with the Colt in my hand, ready to dance if I need to. Something's off. It's too quiet. The girl is exhausted, completely wan of energy. She looks at me for directions. I curl my index finger as a sign to come to me, which she does slowly. I get on the bank, turn around, and extend my right hand to her to pull her to me. Her limp is obvious. My shirt is untwisted. I gesture to her to put it on. She does, fighting the wetness. I help her climb aboard my back. Como te llamas? I ask her. She squeaks. Tika. Leary, I whisper back at her. Oops, that might have been a mistake. She replies, Liui, Hefe. I do not correct her. She is choking me and pulling the vest against my throat. I squat and maneuver her off my back. She has dark eyes, probably brown like her skin. They are dry and tough looking. I do not think she cleaned herself well, as I can still see mud and weight. Fucking bastard. She is bruised all over. She has marks on her face, her chest, her legs, and back. I look at her right foot, or where it should be. She can walk, though she does limp, leaning to the right. My heart retches. I cannot stand to see her walk. So I squat down in front of her again and gesture again to climb on my back, which she does. She grips the vest shoulders and eases the pressure against my throat. Getting near the top of the slope, I am stunned to hear footsteps behind me. I whirl around, Colt at the ready from the appendix position. Preload on the trigger. My heart is jumping to fast mode while I point a K-bar and get ready to fight with this munchkin on my back. I immediately see the German, Park, and Keek, geared up in battle kit and grinning, whispering, You scared the shit out of me. Where'd you come from? The German whispers back, We were at the creek, in case you got in trouble. Now shut up and get up there. We gotta hear this, F&G. He laughs, looking past me at the girl on my back. I find Sarge and crawl to him. From 10 feet away, Sarge looks pissed. He is scratching his head and pulling on the front tuft of hair, making a spike. This is not going to go well. The entire goal of our mission is to never be seen by anyone, and if we do, we are supposed to kill them. That's rule number 1. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Sarge mouths silently as I approach him. I wonder what the fuck that means. Oh, I got it. Explain, he whispers. I slide next to him, sitting on the ground, with Tika still clutching my neck, riding my back. I lay out the big picture account of my recon, never mentioning Tika until I get to that point. The whole time, Sarge is seething. He is staring at her, alternating with me. She can feel the tension. She whimpers but does not cry. She slides off my back, keeping me between Sarge and her, snuggling against my legs. Sarge, I whisper. Her name is Tika. She needs medical help. And her foot, well, where her foot was, it's infected. And who knows what else? Dude, Sarge says gruffly, scratching his crew cut hair. You need a wheelbarrow. Why's that? I reply cautiously, knowing that he's setting up to give me shit. To carry your testicles in, son. You are one badass murdering machine. I like it. But you shouldn't have stopped. But we'll move on. He stares at Tika and then back at me. Zippy, Sarge whispers tersely toward a group of guys below us. Get up here. Zippy, the doctor, is quick. Sarge whispers. Tend to her now. I look at Tika while motioning with my head for her to go with Zippy. She draws tighter to my hips. El doctor, I say, and gently push her away with my knee toward him. He reaches out to her and actually smiles, which is creepy because of his missing front teeth. She looks at me. I smile and nod. Si quer. She will not budge. I repeat, Lester bien, ir con él. She gives me sad eyes. I see a few tears begin to well, but she wipes her eyes as if saying, no matter what, I will not cry. She purses her lips and slowly moves, crawling down the slope along with Zippy, looking back at me twice. I see she is still afraid, this time of us. Roma joins us as I retrieve the wax mat from my vest and flatten it out. I'm hoping this information will keep Sarge from going nuts on me, at least for now. He does not look me in the eyes. I augment the map's markings with good verbal descriptions of what is going on at the camp. Hopefully he will have confidence that I made the proper choice by bringing the girl back with me, not killing her. Frankly, I did not even think about killing her at the time. If I did, I doubt I would have done it anyway. I would have had to kill her with a knife or my hands. No fucking way am I going to do that. After what might be hours, Sarge is done with me, actually saying, good job, this is going to be a tough one. He's watching out for you. Sarge continues, go get cleaned up, eat, and sleep if you can. His tone is pure exasperation. I can feel it deep. I see that Tika has the attention of us all. She is chattering in Spanish, eating a Pop-Tart. She has water. There are a few empty packets of Kool-Aid around her. Zippy and Gage are tending to her feet. She is wearing a soiled white t-shirt with someone's equally soiled white underpants. I toss my floppy hat like a frisbee for Zippy to put on her head. She stares at me. I see her smile. My heart is breaking. I can barely imagine what has happened to her and who knows how many others. Growing up in white, middle-class suburbia, I've never heard of the concept of sex slaves. In my mind, I know this is what is happening. Those fuckers are out in the woods guarding cocaine, bored out of their minds, and this is their fun and games. This is sickening, a dagger to my heart. Back at my tent, I can sing all the dead dirges I want. Nothing is going to soothe me today. The dread of what is going on at Camp C has ignited a seething hatred. I want nothing more than to kill those bastards, and I will soon. There's a deep, deep shock to my soul having encountered this little girl in the middle of a nowhere jungle, in a nowhere country where I don't even know where I am, where this violence is being done to little girls and where I might be told to kill them makes me wonder what the hell is up with humans. A pair of 89 butterflies dance around the bush I am under. I am mesmerized by their jittering. Finally, sleep. I usually do not dream, but when I awake, I am sweating and jacked from being chased by half-naked monkey men slashing at me with machetes. Thank you. All right, back to the rock and roll.